Hey everybody, Bob Murnaghan here, and got a cool Pat Metheny lick for you today. I'm playing a little jazz trio. It's a side project that I've got going, and we're learning this old Pat Metheny tune called Jocko. If you want to look it up on YouTube, it's a cool tune. And as usual, besides learning the tune, I like to kind of dig into what the original artist did and see if I can glean anything from it, steal some ideas, if you will. And came across this lick, and I thought it would be a great one to share with you since it's all pentatonic based. This tune is basically in C minor, and so we've got a C minor pentatonic scale lick here. So I want to play it for you, and then I want to break it down a little bit and tell you how it's put together and tell you how you can put together licks like this on your own. So let's take a look at it. So it essentially starts up here in box 2. And if you think about your C minor pentatonic scale here, box 1, and if you know how to slide up into box 2, you can see I'm on the top 4 notes of box 2 here in C minor. So 13-11 on the first string, 13-11 on the second string. And now I'm going to drop right down into box 1 and come right down the pentatonic scale down to the 4th string. And this move right here where you're changing boxes, that's a common move that you see in like Joe Bonamassa's playing, Eric Johnson, just to name a couple. So again, 13-11, 13-11, first string, second string. Now we're down here to box 1, 11-8, 11-8, 10-8, 10-8. Now, you jump from the 4th string back up to the 2nd string here, and it's 8, 10, 8, 10. So we're coming down 4 notes there from the 2nd string down to the 4th string. So 8 on the 2nd string, 10, 8 on the 3rd string, and then 10 on the 4th string. Now we're going to go back up here to the 3rd string. We're going to go 10, 8, 10, 8. On the 4th string, and then we're going to hit the 10th fret on the 5th string, slide down to the 8th fret on the 5th string, and then pull off to the 6th fret on the 5th string. So all those notes are on the 5th string there. So kind of a lot of notes, but it's not that hard to memorize. And you'll notice that I'm using a lot of pull-offs there. It's almost all pull-offs. If you listen to the Pat Metheny lick, it's really fast, and he's doing that because he's able to play it fast because he's doing lots of pull-offs. So pull-off, 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 pick, pull-off, pick. Now I gotta pick those notes because they're the only notes on the string, right? Then pull off, slide, pull off. See if I can play it a little bit faster and clean for you here. You kind of get the idea. Kind of a cool lick. Now let's talk about how it's built. I already broke down a little bit of the beginning for you here, the idea of changing boxes positions on a string. That's a real common idea, as I mentioned, that you hear a lot of players do. And now we're just coming right down the scale here. Now, we could have jumped anywhere back up into the scale. Pat chose to jump back up here to the 2nd string. What's going on here from that point? Just that part of it right there is a pattern of notes grouped in 4s, which is a common way to practice the pentatonic scale. If I did the whole scale in that pattern, it would sound like this. That's descending, of course. You can do the same thing going forward. Sounds like this. got just that little section of that backwards pattern of groupings of 4 there. And then this, again, is a common blues kind of idea, right? You've probably played stuff like that before, maybe in a lick. You know, that's a common move that happens all the time in the blues. So nothing that's really way outside of the box in this lick at all. But when you put it all together, it's a really cool sounding lick. It's got a couple little twists and turns. Now, practicing patterns, really, in my opinion, is one of the best things that you can possibly do to further yourself as a guitar player. You get a lot of benefit from practicing patterns. And what is a pattern? It's what I mentioned a second ago, where you have an idea, a melodic idea that keeps repeating itself in successive intervals of the scale. For instance, the 4-note pattern we did, etc., etc. And when you practice patterns a lot, a couple of things happen. Number one, you really learn to get your way around, or really learn to be able to find your way around, I guess I should say, inside of the scales that you're working on. The patterns force you to improve your technique just by the nature of what they are and what you're doing with your hands. So that's number one. Number two, they help train your ear. And number three, your knowledge of where melodic ideas lie on the instrument, it's going to increase like many times over. I don't know how to really stress this point enough, but if you spend some serious time practicing patterns, your playing is going to grow in leaps and bounds, and you're going to know a lot more about the guitar than you ever did before. Pentatonic Power, which is the first product I ever created, and it was based on my practice routine that I developed many years ago, is full of patterns in each box of the pentatonic scale. In fact, there's 8 patterns that you'll play over and over again, up and down the fretboard in all the different positions of the pentatonic scale. And they're very useful, very common patterns. And I guarantee you, if you take the time to work through them, you are going to improve as a guitar player, no doubt about it. I've seen it over and over again. If you're interested in checking out Pentatonic Power, I've got a link down below the video. If not, that's cool too. Learn this lick and see if you can find some ways to work it in. And I'll see you the next time around. Thanks for watching.